welcome to a really history-breaking day. This is a groundbreaking day that's a great day for the city of Richland. Let's give a big cheer for the city of Richland. Perfect weather, perfect time, perfect participation, a lot of turnout. This has been a dream for a long period of time to really have a quality first place Citizens Center for all ages here in the city of Richland. It's a wonderful location, beautiful ambiance. It can't be a better amenity for the city of Richland. We're so pleased to have all the volunteers and the future users of this center here with us today as we celebrate something great for the city of Richland. This community center here that we have, that we hope to build, the bid has been let to Panco Construction. Square footage will be 21,355 square feet. We expect to have completion and occupation of this center in late fall of 2001. Construction cost is going to be $3.9 million. For the bond issue. The actual total construction cost is $5.3, including design, engineering, and construction, because we didn't think that the citizens ought to have to pay for all of it, so we dug into our general fund and our utility funds, and we paid for a portion of this so that the bond issue would have to only be $3.9. ARC Architects in Seattle are very important to us in helping develop a quality structure here, and they've done it with sensitivity and with full citizen involvement. So we're going to see a good product. I think one of the key things that we talked about here when we considered philosophically what kind of place should this building be, we talked about senior center, and certainly we could not have done this without the senior center operation, our seniors. It's for the future. It needs to be a place for all ages, and we came up with that. I don't know who authored that, but it's a wonderful testimony to what we want it to be in Richland, to be all-encompassing, a place for all ages, young and old, children, families, everybody alike, and this is what it's going to be.
This is actually a moment of triumph for the city of Richland, because although we're going to supposedly break ground, if you look over there and you look at all these gold-plated shovels, I think I've always wanted one of those, but just look at the number that are out there, and that gives you some idea of just how many people have participated in this process to make it a success. It is one of these kind of, it's like swallowing the microphone. I don't know about this. You know, it's one of those things that this project just didn't begin today. Something that happened 18 months ago, where the vision, where we had a citizens group get together and make some determinations on how we might best be able to succeed on this place for all ages. And quite honestly, there was a bit of a struggle on that idea of a place for all ages. And I am proud that the seniors came together behind this particular concept as opposed to just merely a senior center. And I know that was a very difficult decision for a lot of people. But there are so many individuals who need the idea of a community center for all. And what I do for a living, I'm an attorney and I represent a lot of troubled youth occasionally. And it is interesting to me that when you look across the spectrum of programs for people who are in need of aid, we sometimes forget those individuals. We seem to have displaced a lot of the youth of America, and we kind of downgrade them when they are actually our futures. And by having basically a program where elders, middle-aged people, and youth can get together, I think you have a better idea of what community is all about. And I think that this is going to give us that opportunity to have that, because I think we can really change the community for the better by having a facility like this. You know, I didn't have all that much to do with this particular project, other than I think I get the pleasure of turning some dirt over. There were so many individuals who worked so darn hard to make this thing come true. We had the group who basically spearheaded it. We had the bonding measure, and people worked their butts off, for lack of a better way of saying that, pass. And you all got to be proud, because you all took a part of that, and it wouldn't have happened without the assistance of everybody that worked so hard. Then we had the project team, and now we're seeing the culmination of all those hard efforts. And I can't say that there is anything that gives me any more pleasure than watching the face of Richland change, and change for the better, at least in my estimation, and I think in the estimation of at least 95 to 97% of the people of the city of Richland. And that's a wonderful thing, where a community can come together and be successful. It is my hope that this is just a first step to bringing this community closer and closer together. with all ages.
I'd just like to say it's my pleasure to have the opportunity to speak to you today on the occasion of the groundbreaking. As a member of the Parks and Recreation Commission, I can tell you that it's been an important objective of us for some time to have the community center come to reality. For several years, this has been one of our objectives, and there are many people that have worked very hard to make this a reality, and it's a great feeling to see the efforts of the citizen volunteers and the city staff come together and come to fruition. I'm very pleased to have had the opportunity to serve the community as a member of the development team. As Stan had already mentioned, the team consisted of citizen volunteers, city staff, as well as consultants to the project. Great thing about the team that we had together, we worked in very much an era of openness and cooperation. All decisions, all major decisions on the project were arrived at by consensus. So there was a lot of cooperation, a lot of teamwork. I'm really especially proud of the effort that was put in to the facility design and how it would be programmed, and the involvement that we had from the community to design the facility. It was not done behind doors, and it was a facility that was designed and should meet the needs of the community for years to come. While it was truly a team effort, I would like to acknowledge the efforts of city staff on the team. There were a number of issues that came up during the facility design and bid preparation, and the city staff were always up to the challenge to develop timely and creative solutions to keep the project on track. I really think we need to commend their commitment to this project and dedication to the city.
Things that I want to point out too from an addition standpoint here is, although we're close to the park and that makes a great front window, there was some concern about, are we going to intrude into the park? When you go out here and you look, you'll see there are some, the building line is going to go about 10 or 12 feet over into the grassed area here. It's not that large pink pole, it's not that one. It's about 10 or 12 feet into the grass, but also on the other end, we are reclaiming 70 feet of parking lot, digging it up and replanting it in grass. So if we lose 10 feet on the front, we're getting 70 feet on the back. So if anybody asks you that question, what are you doing in the park? We're actually getting more park here. I'd like to bring up and recognize Stan Spohr for some remarks. Stan is a member of the Citizens Committee for the Richland Center, a member of the Richland Center project team, representative of the Seniors Association, worked a lot. Stan Spohr, take it away.
Thank you very much. Isn't this a special occasion? I am so excited. I'll tell you, we've been working on this project for almost 5 years now, and we finally see for the first time something physically happening out here. I'll tell you, I came by yesterday just to see how things were going, and the tractors were moving for the first time, some dirt, and I'll tell you, it just got my blood all excited, and I just was enthused and everything else. So I hope you all share that enthusiasm with me. I'm speaking today on behalf of the president of the Richland Senior Association, Sue Pritchett, who regrettably is out of town. Sue had planned this occasion to occur during the summer, so she decided to have a fall vacation. Unfortunately, it's occurred while she's on vacation. But I believe, honestly, and I think those who know Sue and what she has done in the past, that without Sue's enthusiasm and dedication, we would not be here today. She was instrumental in leading the bond drive which made this community center possible. When the Senior Association was formed 5 years ago, it quickly became evident that a new senior center was needed to replace the old dilapidated 50-year-old building, which was not meeting the needs of the community and especially the senior citizens. And our senior population was expanding, and we had to have a new facility that would take care of this expanded need. The Senior Association quickly devoted all of its major efforts toward a bond drive to get a new senior center. The bond drive was conducted in 1966. It received 54% approval, but a bond requires 60% approval, and so it did not pass. So we went back to the drawing board. Now what do we do? Do we go for another ballot measure on the senior center, or do we take a different approach to the thing? We regrouped, met with city personnel, city council members, and quickly determined that what Richland really needed was a facility for all residents, replacing not only the senior center, but the badly deteriorated community house. From that point on, we developed the theme, a place for all ages. Now, you heard it talk about, and that's going to be the continuing theme through this whole project. It's a place for all ages. We conducted another bond drive, which was successful in May of 1998 with a 64% approval. So we're real pleased with that. And I want to thank all the people who worked on the bond drive and got us to where we are today, because I know it isn't just one or two people, it's a lot of people, a lot of volunteers, and you all had somehow or another some participation in it through donations or campaigning or things of that nature. So give yourself a good hand for the work you've done to get this bond passed. Shortly after the bond was passed, a development team was formed by the city with both staff members and public participation. The Richland Senior Association is pleased that we have 3 members on that development team. In designing the building, input was received from the users of the senior center, the community house, and others. This building, when built, will be a reflection of citizen input and involvement, which meets the needs of our community for many, many years to come. The Richland Community Center will represent a coming together of generations. It will offer continuing and new programs, events, and activities. We're working hard over there. For our youth, our young adults, as well as our senior citizens. The entire community will benefit from a modern, efficient building soon to be built on this site. In closing, the Richland Senior Association has pledged $100,000 to this new building. Through money-making projects and donations, we have raised now $80,000. We fully expect to meet our $100,000 commitment prior to occupancy, what I consider a wonderful building on this marvelous site. Bring on the shovels. Thank you.
Okay, stop digging, you guys. We're going to do it on 3. Get it down there on the far side. You guys ready?
Let's go.
Cool it down. So I'll get a big dig.
Get a big shovel,
Listen to the mayor. Big dig. Everybody get some dirt. Then we're going to turn it over